Today, Lagos is one of the busiest cities on earth. More than 20 million people live here. Glass towers rise above crowded streets. Yellow buses fly through traffic while street sellers move between cars. You can hear Afrobeats from clubs, churches, markets, and beach bars all at the same time. People from every part of Nigeria, and far beyond, come here chasing money, fame, and a better life. Lagos never seems to sleep. But rewind just 500 years, and this place looked completely different. No highways. No skyscrapers. No bridges packed with cars. Only swamps, fishing villages, thick mangrove forests, and quiet lagoons stretching toward the Atlantic Ocean. So how did this watery maze become Africa's craziest megacity? The answer is a story filled with invasion, slavery, war, fire, colonial rule, military coups, flooding, and endless rebuilding. Again and again, Lagos faced disaster. Again and again, it survived. And now, using old maps, paintings, historical records, and AI reconstructions, we can finally step inside those lost versions of the city. We can watch Lagos grow from a small fishing settlement into the beating heart of modern Africa. Because the story of Lagos is not just about buildings or roads. It is about survival. Every time the city was pushed to the edge, it found a way to grow even bigger. Lagos shaped trade across West Africa, helped build empires, changed music and culture around the world, and became the center of Nigeria's power and business. To understand modern Lagos, we have to go back to the very beginning, long before it was called Lagos at all. Long before Nigeria existed, the land around Lagos was a maze of water. Wide lagoons stretched behind the Atlantic coast. Thick mangrove forests covered the edges of the islands. Small rivers twisted through the swamps before emptying into the sea. To outsiders, it may have looked wild and dangerous. But to the first settlers, it was the perfect place to survive. The water protected them from enemies. The lagoons were filled with fish. Canoes could move quickly between islands and villages. And most importantly, the area sat in a powerful trading position along the coast of West Africa. The earliest people here were mostly Yoruba fishing communities. They built simple homes with wood, mud, and palm leaves. Families lived close to the water, rising before sunrise to fish in the lagoons. Children learned how to paddle canoes almost as soon as they could walk. Life was quiet, but trade slowly brought wealth into the area. Salt, fish, cloth, pepper, and tools moved through these waterways every day. Traders from nearby kingdoms arrived in wooden boats packed with goods. Over time, the small fishing settlements became busier and more organized. One island settlement grew stronger than the others. The Yoruba people called it Iko. According to oral history, the area later came under the control of the powerful kingdom of Benin sometime in the 1400s. Warriors and chiefs from Benin helped shape the city's leadership and trade systems. Iko became an important port where goods could move between inland kingdoms and the Atlantic Ocean. The city was still small compared to modern Lagos. No tall buildings stood over the water. No bridges connected the islands. At night, the only lights came from cooking fires and moonlight reflecting across the lagoons. But even then, Iko had something special. People were already arriving from different places, bringing new ideas, languages, and goods. The city was beginning to pull people toward it. And then, one day, strange ships appeared on the horizon. They were larger than anything the people of Iko had ever seen. Tall wooden vessels with huge white sails moved slowly across the Atlantic waters. The Portuguese had arrived on the West African coast. At first, they came to trade. But soon, they would change Lagos forever. By the late 1400s, Portuguese ships were visiting Iko more often. They came looking for trade, gold, pepper, ivory, and eventually something far darker: human beings. The Portuguese renamed the area Lagos after a coastal city in Portugal. Over time, European traders built stronger ties with local rulers. The quiet fishing town slowly changed into a busy slave port connected to the growing Atlantic trade. At first, the city grew richer. More traders arrived from Europe. Larger boats filled the lagoons. Markets became louder and more crowded. Chiefs and merchants gained wealth from trade with the outside world. But that wealth came at a terrible cost. Wars between nearby kingdoms became more common as people were captured and sold into slavery. Villages were attacked. Families disappeared overnight. Fear spread across the region. The same waterways that once brought fish and trade now carried chained prisoners toward ships waiting on the coast. And danger did not only come from war. The lagoons flooded often during heavy rains. Storms damaged homes built close to the water. Fires could sweep through entire parts of the settlement because most buildings were made from wood and dry palm leaves. Disease also spread easily in the crowded trading